Hare Krishna. I want to just congratulate the BMA, Bhaktivedanta Medical Association, on its launch, and wish them all the best and all the success in what I see as being actually a very important service to Vaishnavas, our society, Srila Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. No doubt one can't overemphasize the importance of health and healthcare professionals in the lives of Vaishnavas. If we don't have good health, then we're not going to be able to do our service properly. If that becomes a pandemic situation, then our Krishna consciousness movement slows down. So obviously we need really healthy devotees, and healthy devotees need to learn how to go to qualified professionals. And I think the advantage here is that devotees always feel much more comfortable with Vaishnavas. They understand their way of life, their values, their consciousness. They can be much more open with them. In my 50 years in Krishna consciousness, I've seen that devotees really tend to self-care. In other words, they end up being their own doctors. For me, it's a disaster. They got one problem, they go to one doctor on this part of the world and get some treatment, procedure, who knows. And then they just move on and go somewhere else and somewhere, and there's some of the problem. Then they prescribe themselves some medicine, or they go to see another doctor and another and another. And ultimately they're the ones who are the doctors, and they're not professionals. And even doctors don't just take care of themselves. They also go to doctors. So that's a kind of a culture that's really spread throughout the society that needs to change. But in order to change, devotees really need to have faith in the medical profession. And for that I won't get into reasons why they have less faith, but my experience is that the longer that people interact with the medical field outside, especially in things like national health, then they lose faith. They just feel like they're part of a whole conveyor belt process, and they're nothing else other than a quote-unquote patient, and their personality, their needs, what they're saying actually gets swept under the carpet. So devotees need to see that, well, yes, the BMA is really offering something really very different. We're offering empathy, we're offering quality time. Now, I know you're all volunteers, and that's not necessarily going to be an easy thing, but still, that's something that we, as the people on the other side of the stethoscope or whatever else on the other side of scalpel, then this is something that we really need. And how then will the committee be able to serve the devotees? It really needs to build faith. I mean, there's so many other things. I'm just concentrating on this one topic, which is really foremost in my mind. And for that, of course, ISKCON means things have to be in line with what Srila Prabhupada gave us. So Prabhupada, in his own way, was also critical of what he saw as the medical practitioners. But at the same time, he also wanted devotees to be in good health and take care of their health and be taken care of. So what did Srila Prabhupada say? And you need a handbook, and it has to be at your fingertips. You've got to be able to quote to devotees, and you've got to be able to respond to the things that they say, and have a straight relationship with them. Devotees tend to go to doctors, and then, once they leave, they can do whatever they want. But that they don't do whatever they want. They only do what their professional wants, but they need that type of faith. What is additionally required is that there needs to be real consistency amongst the doctors. Doctors cannot contradict each other. My dear Prabhus, Matajis, Vaishnavas, I've really suffered at the hands of doctors who are giving contrary opinions, and that ends up pushing me into the position of being a doctor. So it really requires really good teamwork. And when devotees get a good experience, I'm here, I'm doing this little video because Dr. Sundarananda, or Dr. Sanjeev Agrawal, as you may know him, my good friend, because I have such a good experience with him, and we're sold out. I'll jump through fire for him, and I'll do what he tells me, because I know that we have built that kind of relationship. We have real faith, and that's what it requires. I don't have that type of faith with every doctor or dentist, but I definitely have it with my urologist. And also with my neurologist as well. He's a wonderful person, but he's in Hungary. So when that good experience is there, we'll build a reputation. And when the MA has that kind of reputation, devotees will flock to your door. That will be some of the ingredients for a good start. I wish you all the best. May Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada shower their blessings upon you. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vastajate Shatarine Bansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patithanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. I sincerely wish to express my profound gratitude to all of the devotees who are participating in the Bhaktivedanta Medical Association. This project is so vital to our whole community worldwide, where devotees who have a connection with the medical profession can offer their talents and their God-given skills and knowledge to serve the Vaishnavas, especially Vaishnavas who are in need. This really is a great dream come true to see devotees from all over the world who are coming together, as a community to serve the Vaishnavas. Especially at this very difficult time, the importance of the Bhaktivedanta Medical Association is so very much highlighted. I thank you. Srila Prabhupada's blessings I pray to be upon you. May Sri Sri Radha Gopinath to shower empowered mercy to each of you. Thank you so very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This is Badri Narayan Swami. I am a member of ISKCON's governing body, GBC, And I'm sending this message to thank the members of the Bhaktivedanta Medical Association. You are doing essential, important, most valued work, long overdue. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON, does so many wonderful things. We have schools and farms and temples and deities and festivals and books, prasadam distribution. So many, it's like when you churn the ocean of milk and so many things are coming out of it. The demigods and the devas churning the ocean of milk. But they all rest, all of these wonderful fruits of ISKCON, of Srila Prabhupada's mercy. They rest on the enthusiasm and strength of the devotees. Prabhupada used to write, he would often sign his letters, "Your ever well-wisher." He would write, "I hope this finds you in good health." So the health of the devotees and the security, the mental security of knowing, because this material world is a rough place, birth, death, disease, and old age. And knowing that the devotees knowing that they have resources. There's a place they can go to get guidance, to get resources, to get care, to get good direction, to get different options for their medical care. That's just essential. We have a chance, because who else provides? We have the potential. Prabhupada gives the example, if you have a stick, a string, and a gourd lying on the road. Independently, they're not much. But you can combine them together. You can make a tambura, you can make a sitar. They become very valuable instrument, a very, very valuable instrument. So we have so much talent in the medical field and administratively. And to combine that together into a beautiful instrument that serves the Vaishnavas, we can be examples for, this is the world-class medical care that we should provide for our members. So I wanted to thank you for, it's long overdue, much needed. I also wanted to offer my appreciation for the intelligence of the members of the Bhaktivedanta Medical Association for stepping up to this service. Actually, there's a secret benefit. There's some fine print here. Prabhupada says when you're in Vrindavan, we hear the devotees and visitors, they're calling out, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe. And Prabhupada says, why do they do this? Prabhupada says they call Jai Radhe because Radharani is more merciful than Krishna. And Radharani is particularly fond of her devotees, the Vaishnavas, who are serving Krishna. This is her special purview, that she cares for the Vaishnavas. So if you want to capture Radharani's heart, to capture her attention, to win her mercy, and by that we can capture Krishna. So what greater thing could there be? It's a secret. Devotees are always looking for, Maharaj, what's the, give it to me in one line. What's the secret? People always want, special deal for you only. This day only, blue light special. Well, here it is, that if we want to capture Krishna's lotus feet, we have to get the mercy of Srimati Radharani. And if we want the mercy of Srimati Radharani, which we all do, if you want that, then serve the Vaishnavas. So she is Maharani Ki Jai, Radharani Ki Jai. She holds the key to the house of bhakti. So I wanted to appreciate the intelligence of the members of the Bhaktivedanta Medical Association for all the things they could do with their life. They have very cleverly chosen to serve the Vaishnavas, to capture the mercy of Srimati Radharani. In exchange, she will pour pure love of Krishna down upon them. So, long overdue, much needed. It will have profound impact. It will encourage the Vaishnavas to carry on their service, and it will bring you the mercy of Srimati Radharani. So thank you very much, members of the Bhaktivedanta Medical Association. Hare Krishna.
It is our special pleasure and also honor to introduce the Bhaktivedanta Medical Association to you. The Bhaktivedanta Medical Association provides healthcare to devotees all around the globe. The healthcare is a holistic one. That means various medical approaches are considered. There is Ayurveda, homeopathy, naturopathy, allopathy, diet, physiotherapy, yoga, and also emotional and mental wellness. By using a wide variety of approaches, the optimum and most well-researched findings of humanity can be utilized to help devotees in their physical and emotional well-being. It is our firm conviction that devotees require a physical and mental well-being. See, the whole human being is a living organism that has spiritual roots, that has a trunk, that responds to physical and emotional well-being. And we as humans also need to have a social contribution that represents the crown of something that we could call the tree of life. Just like the tree is a living organism where each part, roots, trunk and crown, work together and are connected. In the same way, we as human beings need to have spiritual roots. We need to have a physical and emotional well-being, and then to contribute to larger humanities. Health is so important because then it is much more easy to perform seva and sadhana. We have seen that devotees who are physically and mentally just well balanced and healthy find it much easier to perform their daily spiritual sadhana, and also they are much more ready to jump to any important service that waits for them. Health is so important that Srila Prabhupada signed every letter with, I hope this meets you in good health. I mean, one can use many concluding words to a letter, but the fact that he chose health as something he wanted everyone to have shows how much he valued health. It is the hope that this Bhaktivedanta Medical Association will provide their services for a long time to come. It will be more and more important for everyone to think about health, because we live in an environment that is a challenge to our human system. Pollution, the increasing amount of stress, and the misunderstandings between people. All this requires a response that hopefully the medical association, our medical association, can give. So we wish the Bhaktivedanta Medical Association all the best, a lot of support from the community of devotees, especially devotee doctors, And let us say the mercy of Radha and Krishna, and of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and of Srila Prabhupada, so that they can perform their very, very important services in the best possible way. All the best, and Hare Krishna.
I'm very pleased to see that the Global Healthcare Committee is launching a wonderful set of programs and facilities for the healthcare of devotees all around the world. It is something that is really required, all the more in this day and age when pandemics and various other types of diseases are so widely prevalent. And the question naturally arises as to how we as spiritualists should deal with the subject of health in relation to our spiritual activities, specifically our service, our seva, our sadhana, and so on. Of course, we have many other departments in our life too. We have our health, we have not just our sadhana, but also our seva, maybe our preaching or any other service we are doing. And if one is working professionally, then there is one's profession, one's financial situation, one's family, and so on. So there are many departments in our life, and they all need to be balanced. Everything in the universe is based on a healthy balance. Balance is the key word. And that is actually the root of dharma, tri dhatu, that which upholds the whole universe from the cosmic level to the micro level, to the individual level, to the environmental level. It's all based on balance. The cosmological forces, distances, and movements, etc., are all balanced by Krishna's divine arrangements. In the environment, the seasons, the movements of the natural forces on the earth, they also happen by Krishna's divine arrangement, and they are subtly balanced. Similarly, at the micro level also, we see balance playing out everywhere. Similarly, at the level of our health, of our own personal lives, and for the sake of our well-being, balance is really very, very important. The traditional healthcare systems like yoga, Ayurveda, etc., have emphasized a lot on balance as an important element of health. For example, yoga speaks about the subtle airs in the body, the pranas, which need to be balanced. When the pranas are not balanced, then it manifests in some form of a disruption, which we call a disease, or some kind of difficulty or distress. Another form of yoga deals with balancing the 5 elements, the earth, water, fire, air, ether. And also, of course, the mind, intelligence, false ego also have to be balanced by higher sattvic pursuits. So we have, for example, the mudras, by which one manipulates the different elements, and when any of these elements are not in balance, there is disease. In Ayurveda, there is the balance of the 3 doshas, kapha, vata, pitta. When any of these 3 or a combination of them is not in balance, there is a disruption. That's called disease. So whichever way we look at it, the balance is very, very essential for our lives to maintain harmony and to maintain some steadiness and sustainability in our spiritual practices. After all, we cannot sustainably continue our spiritual practices when there are constant disruptions at various levels. Whether it is at the social level, interpersonal level, financial level, and the level of the body and the mind. It is most conducive for us to be able to steadily continue our service and our sadhana when we are successful in striking a balance. It's easier said than done, of course, because situations in the world are always changing, and the balances that we have to strike are dynamic. So indeed, it is a difficult choice at every moment that we have to make sometimes. But nevertheless, it's something that we really have to pay importance to. I remember when I joined the movement first, and in the initial flush of euphoria, we used to think that looking after the material body was Maya. And therefore, we neglected the body, much to our peril. And as the years have gone by, we are discovering the flaws, the deep flaws in that approach. And we are realizing that it is indeed important to look after the body, because if we don't respect Mother Nature will not respect us. Even though we know that we are not the material body, but we are within the material body, we are still living within the material world. And if we do not respect that properly, not too much, but not too little either, then it will have consequences. And every disruption in any department of our life, be it interpersonal relationship-wise or health-wise or financial or anything else, will have an impact on our Krishna consciousness, on our sadhana, on our seva. So therefore, it is paramount that we somehow or the other, intelligently, judiciously, try to strike that balance. And the essential elements of good health, which we need to focus on, are of course food, sleep, exercise, and to try to diminish stress to whatever degree is realistically or practically possible. When we strike this dynamic balance and we give due weightage to each element that is responsible individually and collectively also for our overall well-being, especially our spiritual progress, then we have succeeded in striking the balance. So prioritization means that we give due weightage to every element. That means that we recognize its value and importance, which means that we do a particular activity at the time when it is supposed to be done, to do the right thing at the right time. So eat when we're supposed to eat, sleep when we're supposed to sleep, etc. So striking this balance in a very conscious way, being very aware that we have to strike that balance, whilst at the same time not being unnecessarily obsessed with the body, which can also be spiritually harmful. So when we strike that golden mean, in Sanskrit it's called the Suvarna Madhya, the golden mean, then we will find ourselves being much more productive, and we will find ourselves in a feeling of wellness, to an enthusiasm to be able to do our services properly. So I'm very happy that this initiative of the Global Healthcare Committee is taking off, and I offer my heartfelt support and best wishes to all, and my gratitude to all the devotees who are involved in this activity. And I urge all the devotees of our movement worldwide to please plug into whatever way they can into this project, and also at an individual level to try to strike this reasonable, judicious balance between the demands of the body, the mind, and the soul. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjanan Shalakaya Shikshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Ajanalambita Pujo Kanakavadhato Shankirtanika Pitaro Kamalaya Taksho Vishwambaro Dvijavaro Yugadharma Palo Vande Jagat Priyakaro Karunaravataro. Hare Krishna. So today is indeed a glorious day, special day, a momentous occasion. It's also significant that this year will mark a full 100 years, a century, since Srila Prabhupada received the sacred order from Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur. The launching of the Global Healthcare Committee at this confluence brings hope and fills a dire need in ISKCON. The Global Healthcare Committee is a dedicated effort, a super dedicated effort to provide healthcare and advice and guidance to devotees irrespective of their standing, young or old, senior or new, and this marks a turning point for devotee care in ISKCON. Devotees hold a very special place in Lord Krishna's heart. The Lord becomes their debtor. He is simply unable to liquidate the debt of his devotee. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the great Acharya, who came maybe about 7 generations after Lord Chaitanya, he wrote a very exquisite masterpiece, a book called the Madhurya Kadambini. In there he sketches the milestones in a devotee's journey. And in there he makes a remarkable statement about one who has achieved the highest position. And we see the Lord's unprecedented affection for his devotee. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur suggests that Krishna will say, "O best of devotees, many births you have given up wife, home, wealth for my sake. And out of obligation to serve me, you have endured miseries of cold, wind, hunger, thirst, and pain, tolerated the contempt of other men, taken to a life of begging. In payment for your sacrifice, I cannot give you anything. I have become your debtor. Such lordship of the whole earth, sovereignty of heavenly planets, taking the post of a demigod, and acquisition of mystic powers are unsuitable for you. How can I give them to you? One cannot give grass and straw, the enjoyment of cows, to any human being. Though I am unconquerable, Achita, I have now become conquered, Chitta. By you, I live for you and dance for you. I am hanging onto the creeper of your good qualities for support." So the Lord is so indebted to his devotees that he feels conquered by their love. His heart has melted out of love for his devotee. Vaishnav Seva is the highest calling, it's the highest service. Why? Because the Lord values his devotees. He cherishes them. He never forsakes them. That's why we do Bhakta Puja. We worship the devotee. Their well-being and health enables them to bring other souls to the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna. So bhakti is the exclusive domain of the devotee. They hold the Lord's mandate, the Lord's proxy, and it's by their free will, really, that bhakti is distributed all over the planet. They hold a kind of derived power, the right to share bhakti with whomever they chose. So, with a precision-tipped understanding of the essence of what pleases Lord Krishna, a global team of doctors and medical professionals spanning multiple disciplines, highly qualified, most qualified, over 100 of them, have stepped forward. They have organized themselves, structured and positioned a service offer to care for and advise devotees on matters of health. Today is the result of many months of hard work. A healthy body and mind is needed for the execution of the Lord's order. Designed as a global support program, the Global Healthcare Committee was initially intended to be like a global healthcare ministry. Our Gauranga Prabhu, as many of you may know, is very involved in devotee care. He's given so much of love and service to ISKCON devotees and is one of the founding drivers of this formation. Then our Sundaranandan Prabhu, Dr. Sanjeev Agarwal, what a bhushan of a devotee. A physician, urologist based in London. He's the engine room really for the conception, the organizational design, and the execution plans. Of course, the formation of such a global group of professionals is no easy task. It was loaded from the beginning with seemingly insurmountable challenges. It ranged from legal indemnity, and where in the ISKCON world should this new formation exist? Eventually it was resolved to function as a private arm, a grouping of volunteer doctors, autonomous in its structure, self-governed, privately funded, and heavily reliant on digital technology. So we are grateful to this team, ever grateful to this team of devotee professionals for their kindness, their compassion, their sacrifice, and their service. Each one of them is a gem in the garland that glorifies ISKCON. Caring for devotees is no mundane activity. Rather, it's the highest possible service that can be rendered in this world. It will attract the attention of the Supreme Lord, and we wish this Global Healthcare Committee team every success. Devotional service is susukam, kartyam, avyayam. It's joyfully performed. So may you find the highest joys in this service, and let us all stand behind this bold, progressive team of professionals and help them enable this most glorious service in the world. To each member of the Global Healthcare team, you have made history. Each one of you, from our Parijata, our just super administrator, to Gopal Bhatta Prabhu, whose heart is full with Vaishnava love, and to all of you, medical experts. This has never been done before. It's unlikely to ever be done in the future. So there is no equivalence. Be assured that Lord Krishna has noted your effort. I am just privileged to be part of your team and blessed to have your association and the association of each one of you. With the launch of the Global Healthcare Committee, you've taken a big step forward for the highest service possible. The global community of devotees all over the world, all the different cultures and languages, will appreciate your sacrifice. And together, let's make this Global Healthcare Committee's initiative a grand success. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the Global Healthcare Committee. Gaur Bhaktivedanta ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The idea of Bhaktivedanta Medical Association originated during the working of the Devotee Care Committee in the year 2011. The committee has been working ever since to uphold the principles of care for devotees, Vaishnava Seva, as one of the three cardinal principles given by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The spectrum of devotee care includes 12 areas. First, spiritual life. Second, health care, both physical and emotional. Third, marriage and relationships. Fourth, care for children. Fifth, care in the field of education. Sixth, care for leaders. Seventh, career and employment. Eighth, financial. Ninth, housing. 10th, consumer, lifestyle, travel and immigration. 11th, legal and civic. And 12th, giving advice on mediation. Of these 12 areas, healthcare is one of the most important pillars for a healthy spiritual life. In one of his letters written in 1975, Srila Prabhupada mentioned, "It is important to keep the body fit and healthy so that we will not meet the obstacle of ill health while serving Krishna. Ill health may hinder one's service. So we want to avoid it as much as possible. Once in Tokyo, Shyamsundar Prabhu was traveling with Srila Prabhupada. Shyamsundar Prabhu got sick for some time then. When Shyamsundar Prabhu was better, he complained to Srila Prabhupada that the devotees had not taken care of him properly. Prabhupada called an Ishta Goshti and asked everybody, why didn't you take care of him? We have given up everything to come to spiritual life. How can we neglect a devotee? Then Srila Prabhupada feelingly turned to Shyamsundar Prabhu and said with great intensity and emotion, why didn't you ask me? I would have come and nursed you. That was Srila Prabhupada's mood. He was compassionate and at the same time bold and strong if necessary. His disciples got the feeling that he loved them and that he was not exploiting them in any way. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally protected Srila Sanatana Goswami in Jagannath Puri when he understood that Srila Sanatana Goswami, due to his sickness, is having a desire to end his life. Lord Chaitanya said, Prabhu kahe tomar deha mora nij dhan, tumi more koriyache atma samarpan. O Sanatan, your body is my property. You have already surrendered unto me. Therefore, you no longer have any claim to your body. Tomar sharira mora pradhana sadhan, e sharire sadhimu mui bahu prayojan. Your body is my principal instrument for executing many necessary functions. Through your body, I shall carry out many tasks. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally took care of Srila Haridas Thakur by bringing prasad for him every day. Mandirer chakra dekhi, koriha pranam, eithani tomar asibe prasadana. Remain here peacefully. Look at the chakra on the top of the temple and offer your obeisances. As far as your prasadam is concerned, I shall arrange to have that sent here. Similarly, Srila Ishwara Puri, the spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, also did menial services to nurse the physical body of his spiritual master, Shripad Madhavendra Puri. In 2008, when His Holiness Jayapatak Swami Maharaj got a stroke and was admitted in the Hinduja hospital, the devotees from the Bhaktivedanta hospital connected with the Hinduja hospital and served Maharaj nicely by facilitating whatever he needed. When Maharaj improved from the intense stroke phase to that of physiotherapy, he was shifted to Bhaktivedanta hospital where he stayed for 2.5 months. The Bhaktivedanta hospital took special care to make sure that all of Maharaj's needs are taken care. The bathrooms and the toilets of the hospital were small for him, so the hospital broke one toilet and created a jumbo toilet. Maharaj was paralyzed totally on one side with his face and one side of the body immovable. So the physiotherapy department headed by Dr. Chako took extra care to provide the best treatment for Maharaj so that he recovers as soon as possible. Constant kirtan in the hospital, the deities of Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra coming for giving darshan along with prasadam arrangements made Maharaj feel at home. Furthermore, Bhaktivedanta hospital doctors were in constant touch with doctors of other hospitals to provide the best treatment. So we can see how important caring for health of devotees is, especially in this phase of ISKCON, when a major section of ISKCON devotee population is moving towards a higher or older age bracket. More so, the ongoing pandemic has thrown yet another challenge to provide healthcare support to devotees that is customized to their needs and spiritual practices. There are 1.3 billion smokers and tobacco consumers, 2.57 billion alcohol consumers, and 1.9 billion individuals fighting acute obesity in the world today. With malnutrition numbers growing as high as 52 million individuals, the economic burden from just such diseases costs upwards of US $600 billion annually. Together, the economic burden on the world created amounts to USD 4.8 trillion annually. Additionally, mental health causes a disability in 1 out of every 5 people in the world. This number has increased to over 1.1 billion people suffering from mental illness in the past 4 years. Mr. Devi Prasad Shetty, Chairman and Managing Director of Narayana Health, in accordance with the EU Medical Agency, speaking at Microsoft's Future Ready conference, reiterates that 95% of illnesses will be treated by telemedicine, with the patient sitting at home, in car, in office, or even in their bed. The future of healthcare delivery is telemedicine. The physician-patient ratios across the globe are as follows. In Africa, it is 1:3,623. In America, it is 1:353. In Southeast Asia, it is 1:1147. In Europe, it is 1:232. And in Eastern Mediterranean, it is 1:914. And Western Pacific, it is 1:531. There are 4.46 billion living in the urban areas and 3.42 billion lives in rural areas across the world. There is less penetration of allopathic medicine in the rural areas, and hence, to curb the fear of long-term side effects of an allopathic treatment, integrated medicine is also required. Integrated medicine eases its ways by advocating the traditional practices of Ayurveda, yoga, and diet and nutrition, along with the swift action, diagnosis, and prognosis with respect to allopathic medicine. To continuously reinvent and build the healthcare portfolio of the Devotee Care Directorate, a dedicated team of world-class healthcare professionals were identified in 2021 from within the devotee community to form a Bhaktivedanta Medical Association under the leadership of Dr. Sanjeev Agarwal. This committee initiated its working initially on physical healthcare part and has included the mental and emotional aspects of healthcare by involving experienced psychologists, psychiatrists, and counselors, among others, from across the world. The current strength of the team is more than 100 members dedicated to serve quality healthcare to devotee community from across the world. The Bhaktivedanta Medical Association focuses on 4 primary objectives. First, to identify healthcare resources, including professionals, collaborations, and knowledge repositories globally, and make them accessible to the global community. Second, to publish healthcare resources of various categories for guiding ISKCON leaders and devotees. Third, to develop websites with all the relevant information for helping devotees across the world with their healthcare crisis. And fourth, to especially create awareness about alternate healthcare options such as Ayurveda, naturopathy, yoga, homeopathy, etc. Today, I am pleased to share with you about the launch of the digital healthcare initiative of the Bhaktivedanta Medical Association, www.bma.healthcare, www.bma.healthcare, that will provide holistic advice and guidance through articles, videos, content with experts from all disciplines, including allopathy, Ayurveda, yoga, diet, and much more. This project aims to serve devotees in a way never done before, by providing advice and guidance in all aspects of health and well-being on a digital platform. I extend my best wishes to the entire team who has worked tirelessly in the past months to realize this dream, with a strong intent towards serving the Vaishnava community, with a strong intent towards serving the global community. The virtue of care through Bhaktivedanta Medical Association will pervade all aspects of society.
Hare Krishna. My name is Sundaranand Das, Dr. Sanjeev Agarwal, and I am the chair of the Bhaktivedanta Medical Association. I'd like to start by expressing my heartfelt gratitude to the senior devotees, the governing body commission of ISKCON, sannyasis, gurus, maharajas, and all other devotees and well-wishers who have given us the blessings to be able to start this very, very important service. I also want to extend my gratitude to the 140 plus members of this Bhaktivedanta Medical Association. These are the healthcare professional devotees who have come across and given their endless time to make this a success. So I'd like to start with giving a little background of this committee. So approximately 9 months ago, in June 2021, we were approached to create a global healthcare committee. We were asked to take a blank canvas and write on it. And what we have done in the 9 months is to create a virtual hospital where we can provide holistic healthcare to the devotees across the globe. We have, in these 9 months, come together and created a virtual hospital from where we can provide this service. We have got a vision of serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission and Srila Prabhupada's mission by serving the devotees in terms of providing holistic health care. And this is by the virtual hospital that we have created with a very strict governance structure. When we talk of the Bhaktivedanta Medical Association, we think of two things or two phrases. The first one is global healthcare, and the second one is holistic healthcare. When I say global, this committee is truly global. We've got members from America to Australia to New Zealand to Canada, Europe, including United Kingdom, India, South Africa, Singapore, and many, many countries. And all these devotee healthcare professionals have come together to form a team and a committee. And when I say holistic healthcare, that is the special point about this service, is this is truly holistic in nature. So we have got a structure where we have got the trustees, a trustee board. We've got an advisory board. Then I've got my executive committee. And then we've got 15 subcommittees. And these 15 subcommittees come together and provide a holistic service. So we've got a very strong Ayurvedic and homeopathic and naturopathic committee. We've got a diet and nutrition committee. We've got a yoga and physiotherapy and allied healthcare committee. We've got a preventative committee. We have got an emotional wellness committee and a mental wellness committee. And then we have got a very strong nursing committee too. And finally, we have a big allopathic committee, which then provides care from cradle to grave, which means that we have got neonatologists to end-of-life care physicians, the geriatricians, and in between all, we've got women and children section, and we have got all the subspecialties of the medical and surgical specialties. And these are all the doctors coming in these committees. And these committees are supported by a research and resource committee, which is again a very important part of the system. And this committee peer reviews all the articles that will go on the website for providing the education material. And when in due course, when the research will start, we will have a very strong research arm to it. Then we have a content and website committee. And this content committee is responsible for bringing all the content together and then publishing it on the website, which will be available to you now. Then finally, we have an ethics and governance committee, which is a very strong hub for this whole committee to ensure that this committee provides holistic healthcare in a very tight governance structure. So how are we going to provide healthcare to the devotees? And this will be done in two forms. One is education. So under the education arm, we will have articles which will go on the website in a very peer-reviewed way. Now, these articles will have a holistic tinge to it, and that will be not just an allopathic component, but they'll also have an Ayurvedic component. Will also have diet, nutrition, yoga, mental wellness, physiotherapy, all of them part of the same article, so that viewers can get a holistic material. There'll be in the future videos, webinars, seminars. There'll be blogs and all other social media material. So that's about the education. Then the second component, which will be starting in the future, is direct medical care. This direct medical care will be provided by hitting a button on the website called a medical query button. The devotee patients will write their queries and will go to a primary care team, which will then either deal with this condition by themselves by providing a telemedicine consultation or pass it on to the specialist. Or it might be that it might be directed to a team member of the team of the mental wellness or emotional wellness or Ayurvedic committee, and they will deal with it accordingly. So obviously we are not starting that just yet, but it will be started in the future. So what are we expecting on the day of launch? We are expecting that there'll be the website, which will have all the information about who we are, what we are doing, and how we plan to do things. And there'll be a lot of education material in form of these articles. And please watch this space. This will grow in terms of more and more and more education material as the time goes on. It will be added, and will be all conditions will be covered. There'll be lots and lots of videos from different specialties and other social media stuff. And there'll be webinars, there'll be seminars conducted, and interviews, live interviews also. Then, of course, in the future, the telemedicine consultation will start, and we will be able to provide a direct medical care to all the patients, all the devotee patients. So, in this way, to summarize, this Bhaktivedanta Medical Association is a team of healthcare professionals across the globe, which will provide holistic healthcare to the devotee patients globally. We, at this point of time, would like to seek the blessings of all the audience so that they can bless us, that we can continue to serve in this mood of humility and with best of our ability, so that health care can be provided to devotees across the world. Hare Krishna.